What's going on, you guys? Your boy Frost here, and today we got a different type of video. We actually got some Hyperscape gameplay. As you can see from the title, it's plain and evident saying that I love Hyperscape, and I'm going to tell you guys the reasons why, its pros and its cons. I don't ever go about not really a review. This isn't really much of a review. It's kind of some stuff I wanted to say about the game, so not really much of a review. It's more of the plus sides than the negatives, but we'll get to those in a second. Um, Yo, Editor Frost,
Yo, what's good?
welcome back.
Thank you,
Let's get
bro.
us
Thank you,
some
bro.
background music going in. Maybe something a little bit more chill. Basically a new mix. So
Yeah,
let's get it
bro. I
down.
got you. I got you.
All right. So first starters, Hyperscape. What's Hyperscape? Like usual, not really in the 2020 lineup. It's another battle royale, but it has a different concept. Where you can win two ways. You can win by capturing the crown for 45 seconds, whenever it does pop up at the end towards the game, or just eliminating every single opponent. If it sounds like I'm kind of tired or doesn't sound like as if I'm talking right, it's because I am. I literally woke up and I wanted to make this video. I should have done this earlier, but I think right now is the perfect time since there's a lot of controversial stuff that we have to talk about, especially with weapons and certain things that's going on in the game. So, with the amount of time that I've placed into this game, I'm talking like maybe 2 days in squads, and I'm fairly a couple hours in solos. But I enjoy this game a lot. I know its problems. I know its advantages and disadvantages. So uh, I can definitely relate to some people's anger when it comes to things, and what they praise and love about the game. And I'm gonna break all that down in just a second. So I guess what we can first get started on is how the game runs. A lot of people just have to know how this game runs. This game is really fucking smooth. It's really smooth for a console game. I'm betting the only reason why is because there's not a lot of assets that build up into the game visually. We'll get to the audio, trust me. Visually, the assets isn't as much, and it's very soft on the eyes. So when you're hopping in, it's a new experience, and it's just fluid. It's just constant motion. You guys are gonna love it if you've never played this game. So visually and how the game runs when it comes to frames and everything, it runs great on consoles. So shouldn't really have much of a problem when it comes to that sort of aspect. Now for the audio does crunch out. And what I mean by crunch out is that some games you'll hop into and you will not be able to hear any audio. Or whenever there's about 5 or 6 hex fires being shot at one spot, that's whenever the audio can crunch out. Or whenever there's 3 magnets in one area, or whenever one of that magnet is popped by maybe a mine with hex fire, it gets to interfere with the assets of the whole game's audio, and it crunches out. And this is kind of frustrating because you won't be able to hear footsteps, you won't be able to hear your gunshots, you won't be able to hear anyone else's gunshots, you won't be able to hear your enemy's gunshots, you won't be able to hear the response of you getting shot, and you won't be able to hear the response of you hitting someone. You can only visually see it. So basically, it's like you're playing deaf. It's pretty annoying, and I honestly hope that they get this fixed soon. They already addressed it, so thank God, because this is by far one of the most irritating bugs in the game, is the audio bug. The second one is, I'd say the closest, but it's not as common, is basically, I guess I can call it freeze lock. I'm calling it freeze lock for a reason. So basically what freeze lock is whenever, I think if you're swapping from a weapon and you switch weapons, or if you reswap or something, it has something to do with swapping animations that make you not be able to change the size of your hacks, change or swap your hacks, swap weapons, reload, shoot, swap into different weapons. It doesn't make you do anything but sprint. This is a very irritating bug, and honestly, I don't know what's the root of the cause, but I think I know the gist of where it came from. And it rarely happens, but when it does happen, it's very irritating. You can't get respawned. you basically can't do anything until the game's over, practically. So I think this is something that they really need to look into. I don't think none of the devs have seen this, but it's rare, but it is pretty annoying. So moving on, when it comes to weapons, the weapons are very diverse. There's quite a bit, but one that ends up being picked on the most, and I know you guys are thinking the same thing, it's the Hexfire. The Hexfire ends up getting picked on the most because the mag size, the rate of fire, and the range. And a lot of people are calling the weapon OP and just just unfair. In three hands, yes. Whenever three people does have the Hexfire, it can get pretty annoying, but you can maneuver and find your ways around that. And if you have really good reliant teammates with good aim that knows how to aim for the head or knows how to move and strafe, this is not a problem. But yes, I can say if there's like 2 or 3 Hexfires in the area, it's pretty annoying. But if it's one person and you're dying to one person that's using the Hexfire and you're blaming the Hexfire because it's just constant firing, that's never the case. The Hexfire is very easy to use since its spread is very minimal and the range is practically can go up to mid-range. So it can be used as an AR practically and still do a great amount of damage. I think I said it before on their Twitter that I think the range needs a tone down as well as maybe the spread getting an increase and a little bit of vertical recoil. This makes it so where that way the Hexfire must be shot at a close to almost medium range, and headshots aren't at random and they have to be completely I'm not saying aren't at random, but they could be at random, whereas if you're close to someone and you jump, you're just getting plain headshots most of the time because of the hitbox. The hitbox is definitely another reason why it's a problem for console. The hitboxes are a little bit bigger, I guess, to make it easier for console players to play. You don't really notice this in Hyperscape because it's not as big, but hopefully that gets adjusted. Speaking of hitboxes, one gun that I can confirmly believe is overpowered right now and needs tonnage, fix, something is the Riot One. Now, I know what you're thinking. For someone that doesn't use the Riot One, or someone that does use the Riot One but don't think of its full potential, you're like, Frost, why is the Riot One overpowered? What are you saying? When I classify the Riot One as overpowered, we're coming to skill sets of all kinds, so anyone can practically use this weapon and still do a lot of 1 damage and 2 get a lot of kills with it. What I mean by this is that the Riot One does not have to be aimed in for you to land shots on someone. Practically, when you hip fire the Riot One, it's like a magnet going into another person, so it's constant, hits on them, and it could be headshots, it could be body shots, and it does a lot of damage. So imagine being hip fired by a Riot One from someone that's across the way, and 1, you don't have sight of them, and 2, they're not aiming. And then if the weapon's maxed out, they're doing a lot of damage for not aiming in. It's not skillful, it's not fair for people that actually do have to test their aim and counter this player that is not aiming. I think that needs a big fix. I think the spread of it should be wider of the case of shooting the Riot One. And whenever it's aimed in, I feel like it should be a little bit more easier, and the aim assist should be a little bit more lenient. But I'm not saying too lenient. But I don't think they should mess around with the aim assist as well when it comes to Riot One, because it's pretty good. But it's really the hitbox that makes it the most overpowered of them all. So I feel like the Riot One needs a tone down, and what I run is Ripper Harpy. The Ripper, I think, as of right now, is the most it's not overpowered. I'm not saying the most skillful, but it's the most common. So if you see a Ripper, you're probably more than likely to take it because getting headshots with it is pretty beneficial, and hitting people with it is pretty good. And another weapon that's pretty underpowered right now is the Harpy. The Harpy's base and all the way through, I guess, its fourth and last upgrade, its base to third upgrades are, when it comes to damage, it's pretty short comparing to with the mag size, because it's normally the mag size. So you start off with like 30 bullets, and you go to like 32 or 33 first, and then 35, and then 30 something, like, and I think it's like 40, and then 45 max, and then with the damage increase. So practically, Harpy is really underrated. It needs headshots, and practically if you don't land the headshots with a Harpy, you're pretty much dead out of the water, and there's not really much you can really do. Headshots are a necessity for Harpy. So I guess people may have been thinking that the D-tap is very underwhelming. I think the D-tap is perfectly fine where it is, because once you do get it maxed out, it could do a lot of damage considering the mag size, and it could be pretty annoying when you're trying to escape someone and they D-tap you with a max D-tap. So I think the D-tap is perfectly fine. Yes, it does suck early game, but that's completely the reason why it's a weapon that if you want to get it upgraded, you go for it. So with that being said, I do love Hyperscape, and I think it's one of my favorite mains right now. I did say, I think recently in a talk video like this, that I was going to probably main Hyperscape. It was something that I've been waiting for a while. The issues, are pretty bad. It's not too bad though to completely ruin the game experience. A lot of people are complaining about a weapon that literally has been under 2 weeks, and they're complaining because it's so widely used. This is what we call metas. I'd say the Skybreaker is in a good spot right now, but I do say the Skybreaker Hexfire meta is pretty strong, but I don't firmly think that it's overpowered. It's just weapon combinations, weapon usage and hack usage. I do think that using 3 magnets with 3 people is pretty obnoxious, and then Skybreaker and then Hex, it could be pretty obnoxious. But at the same time, that loadout is never granted every single time. You have to go out and find it and come across new battles and everything. So it's never the case of, oh, we'll always have that loadout. It's nonetheless that. So you don't ever have to worry about that in general, if that's the case. Like I said, there's a lot of overpowered combinations, but let's just move that off to the side. Let's get down to the hacks. And boy, oh boy, right now I'd say the most annoying hack is the ball. I say it's annoying. It's not overpowered. A lot of people are thinking ball is overpowered. It shouldn't have shield, or it shouldn't be as much HP as well. And while I'll think and go along and say that yes, it's pretty annoying to have to deal with someone that's running around the ball and jumping, but you're not moving as fast, and you're constantly going right back into the air, so you can be constantly tracked and hit in the air. Let alone once the ball is broken and you did use all your hacks, you practically have no other thing left to use. So I don't think ball is overpowered. I don't think it is. I'd say it's the most annoying compared to armor. Since armor, what it does is it gives you invincibility, which it is called invincible or invincibility. It's invincible for a couple seconds, and then you're back to normal health. But at this rate, you can literally just chase the person. It's not overpowered. Like I said, everything has been well thought out for the game. Nothing I don't think anything as of right now is truly overpowered other than the Riot 1, and the Hexfire just needs a little bit of a tone down. I think the damage is fine. I think its concept is, good. Yes, the mag size is large, but it's a minigun, for crying out loud. What do you want for a minigun to have 30 bullets before it reloads? It's kind of not selfish, but unreasonable. Doesn't make sense. So, with that being said, for a lot of people that are wanting to try this game out, or do want to try this game out, I suggest you guys give it a good shot. If you don't enjoy it, fine. You don't enjoy it, I'm not going to force you to play it. But I hope you guys did enjoy this type of video. If you guys want to know how to improve in this game, thoroughly, and what to learn about it and what you need to know, let me know in the comments down below. I'll be sure to see, look at the comments and reply back to as much as I can see, because I have seen a lot of people having trouble. Even my friends, like, I literally tell my friends about I literally talk to my friends about me dropping like 20 bombs, 30 bombs, and they're just like, well, I'm barely like dropping like 3. And if you guys want to know the gist of the game and how to get a lot better at it, what you can improve on, let me know in the comments down below. I probably might end up doing a video on the side about it. Thank you guys for watching this video and taking the time, to click the video and just watch this. I didn't expect it, but hey, there you go. Like I said, thanks for watching, and yeah, as always, peace.